Hello, everyone. I'm a little sooner on my update than I planned. So what is today? The 20th. It's only a couple days later, I guess, for my last one. But things have changed since I made that video. I am having what my mom, since she's been through menopause, the natural way. What she says sounds more like my hormone issue since I had the hysterectomy with the ovaries removed. I am on hormone replacement therapy, but it just started on the 6th, so, well, not even on the 8th. Anyway, what I started to first notice was a depression feeling that was growing more and more. Pessimistic, negative thought processes. Nothing ever works. Nothing's gonna work. Just real negative, pessimistic outlook on everything. Really low energy. I just really wanted to lay around and sleep. And the ironic thing was that another symptom I'm having is insomnia. And the reason I'm leaning more towards that being hormonal is also when I'm laying there trying to sleep, I can feel my skin is really sensitive. And my mom said this is a menopause thing. I can feel like every crease and seam and scratch of my clothing. All my clothing feels rough, and I can feel every little part of it. And so, I mean, it was so. What else? Oh, and like, I've been having spontaneous, very brief crying episodes. I mean, just talking to someone, and then I'm like starting to cry. And I just finally just was honest with the person and said, I just had both my ovaries removed. You're going to have to excuse me. It's, now I have all these. Also, another one that goes with it. Oh, two actually. Anxiety. Increased anxiety, which has been growing. Like I'm on the verge of a panic attack. I generally only have panic attacks around social type situations. But I just would, as whatever the depression, what degree that was or has been, the anxiety where I felt like I was on the verge of a panic attack, but it never quite happened. And it's a little bit like being nauseous and just wanting to vomit because you're going to feel better. I was like, I just wish I would just have a full out massive panic attack, because usually when I have one, which I really don't have all that often, but after, you're just so exhausted. You feel relaxed because you're just exhausted. But anyway, anxiety and sometimes derealization, which is your world feels unreal. To me, I describe it to people as feeling like as I'm going about my business, I feel like I'm watching a movie, like I'm not really participating, or like my physical environment feels like it has no absolute hard, like that I'm distanced from my world, like there's some sort of buffer and I'm not really experiencing it fully. I mean, even just little physical things like the phone, none of it looks, I don't know how else to describe it. I usually had that with mania or high anxiety. But now it's a kind of constant thing, but it kind of ebbs and flows, and seems like in the evening all my symptoms are worse. But anyway, it's been extremely unpleasant. I don't see my surgeon until the 28th, and I'm hoping I don't get any worse before then, because I did tell my mom that this is what I'm feeling, and I'm guessing it's hormonal, but because I have serious bipolar disorder, I want to be real careful, and I'm just kind of warning you. And I told her what my symptoms were so she wouldn't be shocked if I had to call her and say, I gotta go to the hospital. Which would suck because I've gone like 5 years or something now, and I don't want to mess it up. But there is something positive that I think will shake some of this loose. A lot of you know that I volunteer a lot of my time at the animal shelter. I love going there because when I am there, and apparently I've found my niche at 40 years old, I work really well with, especially the little dogs that are, those nervous, unsocialized or shy dog, even the big shy dogs, those kinds of dogs. I work with other dogs with some aggression problems too, and it seems that I'm good at it. When I am there, I don't exist. None of my problems, none of my symptoms. Just every once in a while, it'll slip through like some talkativeness if I'm hypomanic, or some crying, but I can just go off. Dogs don't mind, and and it's a really positive environment for me, and I feel useful, and I feel a part of society, and I get a lot of positive feedback, and I just love being there. And I finally got to go today. I couldn't for 2 weeks. I wasn't supposed to drive, and I can't walk one of my ones I was working with because she's a bigger dog and she pulls. I'm not supposed to lift, push, pull heavy things. But there's plenty of dogs that need my help that I can work with, and I was so happy to see some of my favorites that because I felt so bad when you halt work on them, they can backtrack, and I was so worried about that. See, I got one of the crying things happening again right now, but I did really miss those. I was worried about those dogs because the other staff, they do all the other stuff. They don't have time for one-on-one like that. And so there are dogs there that are adoptable because of me. And otherwise, they've been on the euthanasia list. And then someone said, Megan, will you please work with this dog? They even let me work with unsocialized dogs that can take months. But I was so happy to see them again and get things back on schedule. And I'm planning to work with my apartment manager and hopefully get another dog for my little dog, because she's having separation problems. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I really hope it goes okay. I have a deposit and everything down for my dog, and I have a doctor's note for my dog, but she something happened. She's not used to being alone. I've lived now a year away from home, and she's not tolerating being alone at all. She was okay when my mom's dog stayed with me, but alone. And I got her okay with a certain program, and then something must have happened while she was home alone, like the doorbell rang. And she gets into such a state now when she's alone. Exhausts herself in hours of panic and howling and barking and searching for me, because I videotaped it.